In this video, we're going to take a look at the Veeam Backup and Replication console and how we can leverage storage snapshots as a source of backup, as well as conducting many different recovery types when you find yourself in a time of need. Now in our Veeam console here, you'll notice we have a couple of different backup jobs, but in order to properly set these up, we need to ensure we've added that storage array into the Veeam console. In order to do so, we'll just go into the Storage Infrastructure tab here on the lower left-hand side, and we can go into the storage infrastructure to then add that storage. Now if I choose that option, you'll notice a healthy list that populate, but if you don't see your storage array here, you may see it in the show more vendors. Now this list is growing at all times, so be sure to check back and stay up to date on veeam.com as we incorporate more and more of these vendors. We just walk through one of these simple wizards. So for example, we'll just use perhaps the Cisco HyperFlex, and you'll notice we just give it credentials as well as the access options, so it's really quick and easy to add that production storage into the console. Now if we need to capture a manual snapshot, we can do so by using this window here. Here we'll see those different LUNs, and then I can right click and create a quick snapshot. Now doing so, it's going to give it a name if we like and description. We have plenty here to play around with, so I'll just cancel out here. It only takes a few seconds in order to do so, and then I can just choose one of those snaps and right click in order to capture or recover some data. So here if I instant VM recovery, that'll get that workload back up and running in a very short period of time, or I can even drill into the Windows, or if it's a Linux OS, and even applications that may be running on those virtual machines. So this is just one way of how we can quickly capture snapshots from these various storage arrays. Now many different ones also allow us to orchestrate those snapshots. So if I go into my home pane here and just right click and hit backup, we can choose virtual machine, and then we can just quickly create a job. Now for the sake of time, of course you just give it a name. I'll just walk through this wizard quickly and choose virtual machines that we want to protect. And of course, if you have seen this before, there's many different ways in which we can scope these workloads out. But I'll just choose this one host and then decide where it's going to land. Now of course, traditional to a backup job, this would be your repository. But with some of these vendors, if you drop this window down, you'll see a primary storage snapshot only. So instead of a backup, this is essentially orchestrating one of those storage snaps. So I just elect that option, choose my retention policy, and if need be, I can even have application-aware processing. This is great. If I check this box, I'll still get those nice, clean, and quiescent backups of those applications. And then scheduling, by default, it is a manual operation, but checking that box, we can then dictate a more aggressive or more appropriate scheduling for those storage snapshots. So making those options, we can then use those for recoveries. Now, of course, this is a snapshot, but if I need to, I can come in and then just choose that repository, just like it was a standard backup job, and then going into advanced, and then integration will allow us to enable that backup from storage snapshots. So a couple of different ways that we can tackle backups or even leverage that investment made on that storage SAN. So of course, now that the job has been set up, whether that's a orchestration of snapshots or a genuine backup job, we can then use those for different types of recoveries. Now let's talk about a couple of those. So for example, the snapshots, these are the orchestrated ones, which is again, right click and conduct those different types of recoveries. Now with the backup jobs, again, using those snapshots as the source, the restores really don't change versus what we see inside of a traditional backup job. So again, if I go into disk, here's that job, right click, and there's that nice long list of restore options that pertain to that particular workload. So here, of course, we saw instant VM recovery, but if I need to restore guest files or application items, those options would populate based on their availability. Now, of course, going into, say, Windows, it's going to then choose a restore point that we want to use as a mounting point and give it a reason if need be. Now, of course, when I hit finish, as you may know, this doesn't restore anything yet. This is just going to close it down and then use that backup file and mount it so we can then explore its contents and conduct a few different recoveries. Now, if you haven't seen in the past, these are explorers that are open to many different applications. There's a long suite of them that are installed when you install the software initially, and they launch automatically when you request that type of recovery. So giving this a quick moment to mount, we can then dive in and start all sorts of recoveries. Now that it's mounted, you'll notice we see the C drive, and we just simply drill down into it. Whatever data we need to get back, perhaps we want to go to our documents, all of our users, maybe desktop, we can just right-click and bring those items right back. Now you can also go into the Explore function. I personally think this is great. Oh, of course, access is denied, but I can use this as a great way to drag to my desktop. So if I just simply right-click that, then go into Explore, you'll notice I can actually drag to my desktop. So a bunch of really flexible ways to get that data back. Again, Veeam.com has loads of these videos available, and we're always uploading more as feature sets are unveiled, as new great sets need to be shared. So thanks for your time. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.